a good player of the pull and the cut shot. He likes it short. He's going to keep taking it on.
It was a very different stage of the match, but we saw some extraordinary shots taken by the England batters early on. Was it day 3 at Mount Maunganui with Wagner short pitch bowling, and it got deposited into the stands upwards this time on the back foot. Williamson, wasn't really in control of the shot, and I'm not surprised to see the batter just have a little look and a prod at the ground. We saw signs of variable bounce towards the end of day 3, and that just lifted up a little bit more than the former Kiwi skipper expected, I think. Anderson turns at his mark. He's in past the umpire this time. More in control of the shot, Williamson. Plays this down into the ground. No run.
And work out what the tactic is here. Usually with Stokes, you can look out onto the field at any moment in time and work out how they're trying to get a wicket. With this field, he's kind of having a bob each way. He's got a slip, and Duckett's at point. There's a mid-off, but there's 2 catchers close in on the leg side and 2 men out on the leg side as well, at deep square leg and fine leg. So looking at the field, you'd say Anderson probably wants to bowl quite straight at Williamson, because he's got, well, 6 fielders on the leg side.
Here is Anderson on a good length, defended by Williamson.
So Williamson's great strength really is kind of square and behind square on the offside. He plays it very late, a bit like Joe Root, but they've got no protection there at all. So the field is set for Anderson to bowl essentially wicket to wicket, middle to middle, and give Williamson no room to play on the offside, challenge his pad, and the way they got him out in the first test actually at Mount Maunganui.
Maybe a surprise shorter one, as Anderson is in again. Once again, Williamson's looking pretty secure, as he has done for much of his 167 ball stay. No run, just another little walk up the track. Little prod, Blundell joins in.
It would be a difficult field for a bowler to bowl to generally, but one thing you know with Anderson, he is pinpoint accurate. So as a captain, you can set this field, and you know that Anderson is not going to stray outside the off stump.
Anderson in Fuller and pushed nicely through mid-wicket to the right of Stokes, and fielded for another couple. Williamson moves to 66. And that's the danger, I suppose. The batter knows that it's, I suppose, the kind of general area of the pitch that the ball's going to be coming to.
Yeah, Williamson's a very smart cricketer. He'll look at this field and he'll be saying to himself, well, exactly what I've just said on commentary, that Anderson's going to try and bowl straight at me here.
It was a little bit fuller from Anderson, who does dig it in a little bit shorter. Williamson's quickly onto it. Anderson's on the turf, and Williamson will face the first ball of the next over. He moves to 67, Blundell 30. The lead now up to 114. New Zealand 340 for 5 here at the Basin Reserve. This is ticking along nicely.
Still very good batting conditions, and this is why Stokes opted to bowl again, to enforce the follow-on, because it's not just when you're making that decision about the follow-on, you're not just thinking about your bowlers at that point and whether the conditions are good for getting wickets. You're thinking what is the pitch going to be like late on day 4 and on day 5, when you might have to be batting again. And Stokes, in the history of the Basin Reserve, would be pretty confident that this pitch is going to hold together, that it's not going to be a demon track on the 5th day, and that's why he was encouraged to make the follow-on.
$116 overs England have been bowling, plus the, I'll have a look in a second how many in first innings, as Robinson pitches one up, and there's no protection at long off, just a solitary fielder. He's a little bit wider, but that's a beautiful shot from Williamson.
Well, the field again is set leg side. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fielders on the leg side. Only a point and a kind of wide-ish cover. So this was basically a half volley on off stump, and all Williamson had to do was lean into a gentle drive, and there were runs to be had.
Robinson, who's been predominantly short pitched And he's short again. And this is in control from Williamson, who does have to drag the ball from quite wide of the off stump down into the ground. And it's fielded mid-wicket by Stuart Broad. I suppose it's part of the reason Stuart Broad earlier on today was just saying it's not the wicket where you're going to be getting too many leg before wickets and bowls. It's either short pitched or it's just outside off stump with a slip cordon in place. No great pace in the pitch. Robinson again digs it in. Williamson again comfortably pulls this square of the wicket in front of square on the leg side, and another run. This is a kind of start to the afternoon session I think New Zealand will be quite happy with. What's the partnership now? It's nearly 50. Partnership of 48, yeah, from 55. So since that dismissal of Nichols, the run rate has certainly increased. Runnable 54 from Mitchell, and now Blundell's going at just shy. Just over a strike rate of 90. Actually averages 100 at number 7. Short again, and just short of that fielder that you picked out in the last over, Anderson, at a kind of leg gully. Now how far short of Anderson did that drop? There's no real reaction that there was a catch, but maybe just hurt himself as well.
It was just short of Anderson, but I'd want my best fielder there. Anderson's a good fielder, but he is 40 years of age now. I'd want my absolute best catcher and most athletic fielder in that position. It may still be Anderson who's the man, but it wasn't. It might just have carried, actually. That is the key position, the absolute key position, and it might just have got to him on the full.
I think it did carry, and I think Anderson's not only annoyed that he's dropped it, he's hurt himself as well. He got 2 hands to it. That was pulled straight to the fielder, as Mike said in the last over. That was the key position, and Anderson has just put down Blundell short, and this time evades a fielder. There's a run round from deep square leg. Another run to the score. Wow. It's quite difficult to pick the flight of the ball up from up here in our commentary position, and maybe from the ground as well, because there wasn't much of a reaction from the largely England supporters. But folks saw it. You can see the reaction from the wicketkeeper. So a chance goes the way of New Zealand. Short, and Williamson again happy to pull this ball backward of square leg this time, and well, that's the end of what could be a pivotal over, because there's a chance that's gone down.
I'm trying to think who would be if I was the captain out there and I knew that one position was the absolute key position for a catch. Who would I want in that position? Who's the best catcher, the most athletic fielder? Maybe Stokes himself. Anderson is pretty good, but I don't know. Crawley maybe. Anyway, that's the position where you want your best catcher, and one's just gone down.
I think it probably is Anderson, isn't it? Because
maybe.
Stokes, if Stokes was fully fit, no problems with his knee, fair enough. But then, can you captain from that position? We're talking about captain and a cover. Can you captain from leg gully?
He's captaining from pretty much square leg anyway, or just in front.
From leg gully?
He's captaining from pretty much square leg anyway, or just in front, so that doesn't make any difference. Maybe Pope.
Possibly Pope. I mean, actually, I'm not sure you can get a regulation leg gully catch, but you know, it went to Anderson, a relatively comfortable height. Fielder will feel that he should have caught it. Maybe he can make amends with the ball in hand. There's a stifled shout of catch. Fielder at square leg, but bounced it well short of Ollie Pope. Williamson 73, Blundell 31. The lead now 121. I mean, what kind of target do you think England... Well, actually, I'll spin it around. Okay, so let's say England don't bowl New Zealand down, because England will feel they can chase anything down. If it comes down to New Zealand, who have to win this match, and they have to give themselves enough time to bowl England out, they've gone in with an additional batsman, of course. Pushed into the offside this time from Williamson, no run. What target and how many overs do you think New Zealand will set England?
Well, they'll be slightly conscious of what happened last summer, won't they, in England, where England chased
But they have to win.
highly successfully 3 occasions on the bounce, but they've got to win the game. They want the best part of... They also know that England will go for the win whatever, so that slightly plays into New Zealand's hands as well.
Yeah, it does indeed. Fuller from Anderson, driven, but fielded at mid-off, no run.
I don't think England are worried about anything below 250 on a day, late 4, day 5 pitch on here. Of course, it could all go wrong. You never know what can happen in sport. It's a crazy old game. But in terms of just looking at the conditions, I think they'd be pretty comfortable chasing anything around there.
I wonder what New Zealand would be happy to face. That was a no ball. Anderson probing away again. Williamson happy to prop forward. It's that we were speaking with Daniel. We were speaking with Jake yesterday about the decision to go with Tim Southey rather than Tom Latham as captain, and Jake was of the opinion that maybe a different mindset from what had been before might have been the reason that Southey got it. And Anderson, this is a fraction shorter. Williamson's more than happy to take it on, and we'll come back for a second as well. Good stop at long leg, but another 2 runs to the score. 75 now Williamson, Blundell 31. Possibly Southey would be a bit more of an aggressive captain. Maybe he'll want a little dart tonight if the score is if the lead's approaching 300. Maybe they'll want to bat for half an hour tomorrow.
Well, they've got aggressive players, as I was saying before, Bracewell and Southey himself, who can push it on quickly. It was quite an aggressive declaration he made in Pakistan when they nearly got over the line in Karachi recently.
Shorter from Anderson again, and those 2 fielders on the leg side being called into action once again. Another run.
Anderson doesn't get as much bounce as Robinson, so he's of the 3 bowlers, the 3 seamers, Broad, Robinson, Stokes, 4 seamers with Anderson. He's the one who doesn't really like this short ball ploy. It doesn't play to his strengths. Robinson's fine because he's a bit taller and gets a bit more bounce. Same with Broad, and we've seen Stokes do it when he's fit. But